Hey everyone, welcome back to this episode of Screen Time. I'm at the Sydney Film Festival right now, so I just watched the new film from director Jafar Panahi. It was just an accident. Let's get into it. So it starts off as your typical road trip film. We've got a family in a car and their car breaks down. Quickly, the film becomes a far more weary tale of how people cope with war crimes, trauma, and that kind of thing. And it becomes a very urgent tale of, what would you do if you met your, person who hate crimed you? What would you do? The director Panahi is known for his politically charged yet deeply human filmmaking. Discusses these heavy themes in the most ordinary of places. In this one, it was a broken down car leading to this man, and this man acting on his urges and hatred. So yeah, this one is no exception and is directed really beautifully with some incredible vistas and shots, and the script is kind of where this film shines. There's a lot of dialogue. It's a very dialogue heavy film that, makes you really think about what they're saying. There's a cast of characters, each one representing a different kind of view on war crimes and how to respond to dealing with your abuser. So we've got our main guy, Vahid, played by Vahid Marbarisi. And he starts off very fiery. He is, and in acting on his urges, he's like his hate towards this very person. And then slowly throughout the film, he becomes more restrained, more reserved, more kept to himself. And he's really just the listener and kind of like the middle ground for the whole group. And then we've got a person getting married who's another victim, the husband, which hasn't been involved in any of this, so he is the outside perspective. And then we've got another abusee, person who got abused, who's very fiery throughout the whole thing to a point where it was a bit annoying, but maybe that's just because from my perspective he was overreacting, but from another person's perspective he may be reacting very on point. And by the end of the film, you do kind of see where he's coming from with what he describes happened. And then we have Shiva, played by Mariam Afshar, who is the more outspoken yet kind of level person. She says what she wants to say, she'll do what she wants to do, but it's always within reason and it's always thought through. And that's kind of the character the film positions the viewer to relate to the most. She's your everyday person. She has all these views and opinions, but she's not, outwardly too aggressive. So all of these characters kind of add up into being it's pretty much a debate whether or not the actions of this person, correspond to what they want to do to him. And ultimately, this film is not jam-packed with a lot of action sequences, big, moments. It's more story-driven. It's more about what the group of people are saying. And that's where Panahi really thrives. In conversation that feels simple, but are loaded with guilt, memory, and unspoken tension. The film becomes a philosophical debate about guilt, justice, and whether healing is ever possible, or even if it's just too deep of a wound. Panahi poignantly chooses that there is no clear answer. He leaves it up to the viewer, and that leaves the last few moments of the film to be the most powerful. It is very terrifying, but in the most kind of relaxed and subtle way. Overall, it was just an accident. It was not an easy watch. It's not trying to entertain you. It's trying to ask and pose questions to you and kind of ponder that idea of what would you do if you met your abuser. And it provides different areas of the argument, and by the end of it, you're left to just ponder. And it's a really solid kind of piece about war crime and all of that stuff. So yeah, I rate this one 4 out of 5 stars on Letterboxd. Go follow me down below. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.